Hey, what is going on, guys? XpertFusion here, and today we are doing the top 10 best Call of Duty games in my opinion. So these are my favorite Call of Duty games in order from the worst to the best. So there's only 10 Call of Duty games, starting with Call of Duty 4, going all the way up to Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I'm not doing the Call of Duties beforehand because they don't live up to the Call of Duty starting with Call of Duty 4. It's just the honest truth. You might feel different, and that's fine, but for me, I'm a little bit different. So top 10 Call of Duty games, we're going to count them down from my least favorite all the way to my favorite. And like I said, it's my opinion, so if you have a different opinion, that's fine. But that's how it's supposed to be. Obviously, my nostalgic experiences and how I am at the game and how much I've enjoyed it, and just my enjoyment of the game is obviously going to be different than new people, or than other people at least. And so obviously this list is going to be different than yours. And my list is definitely very, very different than most people's. To be completely honest, I have some of the Call of Duties most people consider to be like the worst ones up closer to the top, and some of the Call of Duties people consider to be the best ones a little bit lower. So it's definitely different, but hopefully you guys will enjoy it, and let's get into number 10. And so coming in at the number 10 spot, my least favorite out of the 10 Call of Duty games, starting with Call of Duty 4 all the way to Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, would have to be Call of Duty World at War. Now, in no means necessary do I think this is a bad Call of Duty game. I think this is a fantastic game, but obviously I have to put one of them at the bottom spot because I have to put them all in order. I love them all, but this is just my least favorite out of all of them, and I'm going to explain why right here. So, nostalgia-wise, this map is amazing, and this game is amazing. I'm one of my favorite games because of the nostalgia primarily. So when I go back to it, I get all those nostalgic feels, and I'm like, man, this is incredible. But that's all nostalgia. That's all just because I remember playing it back in 2009, or I think it was 2009, something like that, 2008. It was both years, I guess. I remember playing it, with my friends and stuff like that. Split screen zombies, split screen multiplayer, whatever we would do. And when you take the nostalgia blind fields off and you go back and play it now, it's just not that amazing. I mean, it's really, really not. So first of all, it's just outdated. It's very, very outdated. Call of Duty 4 was pretty outdated too, but they remastered it and made it completely revolutionary to its game. If they were to make a remaster of World at War, maybe it would revive my enjoyment of it a little bit, and it would end up being a little bit higher on my list. But for now, I mean, the campaign was great, of course, but it just wasn't, enough for me. There wasn't much characters that I was, developed to or enjoyed that much. It was more of just a story of the World War II and what was happening in it. But I feel like this year, since we're getting World War II Call of Duty, it's going to surpass this Call of Duty so much so that this Call of Duty is going to feel kind of worthless, since it won't be the only World War II Call of Duty anymore. Well, the only one, starting with Call of Duty 4. And so that kind of makes it, like, I don't know, not as special. I mean, multiplayer was kind of unbalanced, had a lot of overpowered things, had a lot of bad maps, a lot of bad, connection, a lot of bad hacking, a lot of bad glitches. It was just not very well made. I mean, obviously it's outdated, so that's obviously going to happen, but taking the blindfold, the nostalgia blindfolds off, it's not as amazing as some people say it is. I mean, to be completely honest, at least for today's standards. And zombies, it was great back then, but looking back on it today, I mean, those 4 maps they're boring. That's all I gotta say. They're boring, they're nostalgic, but they're boring. All 4 of them are pretty boring. I mean, Deriz, honestly, I could probably play most of the time. It's fun to pack a punch and do challenges on for Deriz, but the other 3, they're just kind of boring, and they're just old and not as good. I mean, obviously for Zombies Chronicles, when they remastered them, the World at War maps were the ones I didn't care about at all. So that's when I mean, that I really, the zombies wasn't that amazing. But nostalgia-wise, and the fact that it was like the first one to bring zombies, definitely brings, love to my heart, because I remember playing this back when I was a kid and enjoying the hell out of zombies and multiplayer and everything. But just to make this, a real list and not nostalgia-based, it has to come in at number 10. And so coming in at the number 9 spot, we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. So this Call of Duty, it was pretty fun, honestly. This is probably one of the least played for me in terms of, my time played for the game, at least if I were to look back on multiplayer specifically. It's probably one of my least played. I don't know why, honestly. I think just during this time period there was a lot of other games coming out, and I was also, kind of in the state where I just wasn't interested in Xbox. I mean, I was a kid back then when this game came out. I was, a lot younger, and I had, just not really much interest in Call of Duty this year, and I think it was because of Modern Warfare 3. I would, honestly, if I were to play a game, I would end up going back to Black Ops 1 and play zombies or multiplayer or something like that. And it wasn't that this was a bad Call of Duty. Like I said, I don't think any Call of Duties are bad, but there was just something about it that I didn't enjoy as much as I enjoyed, like, I don't know, Black Ops 1 or Modern Warfare 2 or something like that, or even Call of Duty 4, to be completely honest. The one thing that kept me enjoying this multiplayer a lot would have to be the campaign. The campaign in this game is fucking incredible. I don't know if it's the best one, but it's definitely one of the best campaigns we've ever had. Amazing storyline, amazing missions, amazing characters. Everything about it was amazing. Such a good campaign. But the multiplayer was kind of on the lackluster side. I mean, there were not that many good maps at all. There was like a few good maps. The kill streaks weren't the best. Definitely not up to par of Modern Warfare 2's kill streaks. They still had a lot of death streaks that were annoying. There's a lot of just annoying things in this map, or this game. I keep calling them maps. But overall, just was a very lackluster game. Spec Ops was fun. They had fun things like survival mode. Survival mode was pretty damn fun. But the Spec Ops missions, I never really played much. They weren't like zombies. They weren't as replayable as zombies. They'd be like, oh, I'd play it once when the game first comes out in November, and then I'd probably never play them again the rest of the whole year unless they made an update in it and some DLC pack or something like that. I also don't like how the DLC packs work. They were really, really weird. It was like they were coming out like monthly or something by like singular maps. It was really, really weird how the DLC system worked in this game. But they weren't even worth it because most of the DLC maps weren't that good anyways. They had the one map that was like Boardwalk, I think it was called. That was a fun map. But other than that, just wasn't much to keep me playing and keep me enjoying this game. It just really wasn't one of those Call of Duties that I would continuously want to come back and play. And I haven't honestly played in a while, so my opinion might be a little, rough on it. But from what I remember, and from, last time I probably played it was probably like a couple months ago, so I'm not saying it was too long ago, but it was definitely a couple months, and I just don't feel myself playing this Call of Duty that often anymore in the future, to be completely honest. Unless they bring it backwards compatible, maybe I'll go back and play it a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, so that comes in at number 9. Now coming in at the number 8 spot, we have Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Pretty new Call of Duty, came out about 2 or 3 years ago, and honestly, it was pretty fun at the time. I enjoyed this Call of Duty more so than most Call of Duties, and it was in the beginning of the game that I really had an enjoyment for. It was like the first couple months, and then as time went on, it kind of dwindled down a little bit, and I started being like, you know what? It is not the best Call of Duty in the world, but it's definitely fun. Like the first month, honestly, this is one of my favorite Call of Duties of all time. I was like, dude, this is amazing. But then as time went, like I said, time went on, it's just kind of changing. Once I started getting a lot more variants and stuff like that, and once more DLC guns came out, and once the DLC packs came out, my love for this game kind of dwindled down a little bit. First of all, starting with the campaign, the campaign wasn't that amazing. It had some cool things in it. Kevin Spacey was cool and all, but it was nothing keeping me going. I didn't really get invested into the story that much. They had a few cool missions here and there, and they had some cool characters, but for the most part, wasn't anything over the top or anything like that. Multiplayer was pretty fun. That was the only really part keeping me playing this game, was the multiplayer. It had some fun maps. It had some fun guns. It had a lot of fun. I liked the supply drops. I gotta say, I liked them. I mean, as much as people hate supply drops, in this game, they were enjoyable. They were really, really enjoyable to how the variants worked and to how everything worked. I mean, once they started bringing the advanced supply drops, that's when people started hating them. And personally, I didn't hate them, but I was like, yeah, this is kind of stupid. I mean, the only way you're going to get a DLC gun is if you spend money on them, which is kind of stupid. But beforehand, when they didn't have that, I enjoyed it a lot. And the whole luck factor, as much as it wasn't the best. I mean, their main reason for adding supply drops was because they wanted people who weren't that good at the game to somewhat enjoy it, because they can still get cool things even if they're not good at the game. But I don't know, I thought it was cool, but for the most part it started getting a little boring. Exo Survival was kind of stale. Exo Zombies was not terrible. They had one good map out of all 4 of them, and I've made a video talking about that. Carrier is only map out of Exo Zombies that I actually think was a good map. All the other 3 are kind of poop in my opinion, but I mean, that's not enough to keep a game mode going, just one map. So that definitely lost my love for this game. And so honestly, multiplayer was the only part keeping me to enjoy this game. in a way. I definitely enjoy it more than World at War and Modern Warfare 3. That's why I'm putting them higher. But it's still not enough to make it anywhere higher on the list than number 8. So, yeah. Coming in at the number 7 spot, we have a very controversial one that I know people are going to hate me for, but like I said, it's my opinion. That's Modern Warfare 2. And honestly, this game is very unbalanced. That's why, the main reason why I don't like it that much in terms of multiplayer. Campaign, like I said, same thing for Modern Warfare 3. Fucking incredible campaign. One of the best we've ever had. But the campaign's not going to keep me to enjoy the game as a whole. Spec Ops, as well, was fun, but it's not enough to keep me going like zombies would be. But multiplayer, let's talk about multiplayer, because, obviously that's the main part of most Call of Duty games, and this game's multiplayer is unbalanced, and it was fun back then when people didn't really use the unbalanced things, but nowadays it's even like not just nowadays, like the past couple of years, ever since like honestly Modern Warfare 3 came out, people started to get the ways done on this map. They know how to get the nukes, they know how to do all these things, and it's just very unbalanced. I made a video as to why this Call of Duty is not as good as people say it is. Noob tubes are ridiculous. I don't know who invented them. Danger Closest, Commando Knife. The maps were kind of unbalanced and very. There's a few good maps. I liked High Rise. Terminal was good. There's a couple maps there that were great, but for the most part, there was a lot of maps like Wasteland and Rundown that just weren't very balanced maps, and they didn't play well. Streaks, people just camped like crazy. They didn't play the objective because streaks were the big thing in this game, which is why I like score streaks so much better than kill streaks for sure. And I think something that the later Call of Duties decided to do was, okay, we need people to play the objective, so we need to add score streaks instead, which was very smart of them. But in this game, since the score streaks were so good, not the score streaks, the kill streaks were so damn good, people just camped like crazy. I did it too. Trust me, I did it too because everyone else was doing it. You had some pretty overpowered guns. You had it wasn't the best, but it also had a lot of fun things to it. I could still go back and enjoy it in some ways. Like I said, there's a couple good maps here and there. A lot of guns are really fun to use, like the UMP, the M4A1, the M16A4. There's a lot of fun guns in the game, and it's very good hit detection as well, which hit detection is very important when it comes to Call of Duty, and this game has very good hit detection. Like I said, it is kind of outdated like World at War, but if they were to remaster this game, like I've said, I wanted them to remaster it like 100 fucking times. I've said I want to remaster this game. I'm telling you, if they remastered it, it would be so much better. But they haven't done it yet. But if they do, I think honestly it could be way better than what I think it is personally. Nostalgia of this game is amazing though. I have so much nostalgia. Playing with my friends on split screen, playing Spec Ops together and stuff like that. But when you take the nostalgia blindfolds off, you realize this game is not as good as people say it is. But it's still a great Call of Duty nonetheless. That comes in at the number 7 spot. Now coming in at the number 6 spot, we have one of the most hated Call of Duties at this point, and it is pretty high on my list. It's not that high, but it is still pretty damn high. That is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I think this Call of Duty gets way too much hate than it should, but there are a lot of bad things about it. Trust me, there are a lot of things that I would say could be better, but for the most part, I find myself enjoying this game more than what people say, and my main unenjoyment of the game would have to be the fact that a lot of my friends don't play it, so that kind of makes me kind of a solo player on it. And when you're playing solo, it's obviously not as fun as it's going to be with friends. But that's the only thing. That's one of the only things I can think of that I don't enjoy this game for, and why I don't enjoy this game as much as I want to. Campaign, amazing. One of the best campaigns we've ever had, to be completely honest. The full futuristic stuff, like I said, I don't like it as much as I like boots on the ground type stuff. But this campaign had really compelling characters and really compelling storyline, even with the boost jumping and all that. Zombies is very underrated. I love zombies in this game, honestly. It is so much fun. Honestly, not better than Treyarch, but it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. I still think it is incredible, and it can be so much fun. Spaceland, Raven Redwoods, Shell and Shuffle, and Attack of the Radioactive Thing, they're all fun maps. We haven't even gotten DLC 4 yet, so I'm making this before we even have DLC 4. So you could say this is being a little rushed because I would like to wait for the whole game to come out for DLC 4, possibly even DLC 5 if they decide to do that they probably won't, but just if they do, I don't know. But for the most part, even without DLC 4, I still think this should be here, and I think DLC 4 honestly is going to make me like this game even more, because I think it's going to have a great zombies map. But yeah, this game is just a lot better than people say it is. That's all I gotta say. I mean, people say it's crap. I think it's better than that. I don't think it's crap. I think it's more of the okay type of a position, to be completely honest. The multiplayer is definitely not as good as the zombies in the campaign in this game. It's kind of more lackluster, but I do have fun on it every now and then. I mean, first of all, they give you the DLC guns for free, which I love. I love the variants. They work good in this game. You could craft them with salvage, so they're easier to get. Supply drops work in this game. They really do. Better than Black Ops 3, better than Advanced Warfare supply drops, to be completely honest. They work in this game. Kill streaks are actually better than I thought they would be, and the score streak variants are pretty fun too. I mean, you have score streak attachments in Advanced Warfare, which was really cool, but this game gives us score streak variants, which I think are even cooler, and they're actually really fun to use. The rigs and the combat rigs are actually pretty cool. People say there's like, oh, there's no personality to these rigs. Well, I mean, they're not characters, they're rigs, they're suits. So it's kind of like Iron Man, you get a bunch of different suits, and I like that. I think that's cool. They definitely have a couple goofy things in there, like the Grandma Knows Best pack, which I don't like goofy things in Call of Duty. I mean, sometimes it's not that big of a deal. If it's like a camo or something, I don't mind it, but some things can get really kind of annoying that it's like, you know, why is this in Call of Duty? But at the same time, you don't have to use it, so it's like not that big of a deal to me. They do have a lot of goofy calling cards as well, but like I said, you don't have to use them. So honestly, you can make this game feel as serious as possible, even without that. You have contracts that are actually really fun, just like Black Ops 3, and they make me enjoy this game a lot more than I would assume. Hit detection's amazing. There's very good connection in this game. I enjoy the guns. There's a lot of fun guns to use, and since DLC guns are free, there's even more good. There's like a couple new guns to use every month. I love the dark matter in this game. I'm having fun going for it right now. I haven't got it yet, but it's fun to go for. And yeah, overall, this is definitely Call of Duty that people hate on too much, and I think needs to be let down a little bit, because it's not as bad as it, you know, people say it is. That's something I have to say. So that comes in at the number 6 spot. Coming in at the number 5 spot, we have another pretty hated Call of Duty overall, and I think gets way too much hate than it deserves. That is Call of Duty Ghosts. Honestly, I really wanted Call of Duty Ghosts 2, but obviously since people hated this game, they had to make something new and different. But man, oh man, do I not understand the complaints for this game, because this Call of Duty is way better than what people say. I mean, when I hear people say what they want in a Call of Duty, what they want in their perfect Call of Duty game, this Call of Duty usually has those elements. They want a gritty, realistic Call of Duty, and this Call of Duty is very realistic, more realistic than most Call of Duties we have. In some ways, not in all ways. They want something interesting. I mean, I love how this game multiplayer works. Let's go over campaign and everything else before we go into multiplayer. Campaign, pretty fun overall. I liked the ending. It was cool. I wanted Call of Duty Ghosts 2 to continue it, but whatever. We didn't get it. It's fine. Extinction was cool, not the best, but it was okay, I guess. It wasn't better than Zombies in any way, shape, or form. It was okay. It was okay. That's kind of where I'm putting it. Not better than Infinite Warfare Zombies, not better than Exo Zombies, but it was okay. It was okay. I'll put it at that. What was the other game mode? The other survival game mode was kind of fun. You had squads. It was sort of cool. Let's get into multiplayer. I love the multiplayer in this game for a lot of reasons. First of all, hit detection's incredible. That's always a plus. I like the UI. I like how you can see your kills and deaths on the screen. Love the kill streaks. Love the whole field order system. I think that's one of the coolest systems they've ever added in Call of Duty. I love the map-based score streaks that the maps have. They have like special score streaks that you can only get on specific maps. Advanced Warfare had that too, which was cool. But I like it in this game a lot better because a lot more maps had it. And there were something you could only get out of the field orders, and they did it for like all the multiplayer maps, or the DLC multiplayer maps, not really all the maps in itself. I feel like the people who complain about this game the most haven't played the DLC, because honestly this game in itself is not that great, but when you play the DLC maps, it's so much fucking fun. The map-based streaks on some of these maps are just so cool that they make every map unique in their own way. You know, I always complained about what's wrong with the newest Call of Duties, what's wrong with Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare specifically. They don't put unique things in their new maps. They don't. They're just all the same cookie cutter maps with the same layout, and they're kind of boring in that way. But Call of Duty Ghosts made every single map unique in some way, shape, or form. They had map-based events that would happen, like in the middle of a map something would happen, or you can specifically, you know, cause something to happen. You can close doors, do whatever you want to do. And the map-based streaks, which are awesome. So many cool things you can do on these maps that I loved. Guns, the gun balance was amazing in this game. They had very balanced everything. They completely removed any problems that I had with Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare 2, like the death streaks, you know, stuff like that. They made the specialist packages really cool. Support streaks were cool. I really enjoy this Call of Duty. Honestly, I really do. And honestly, the DLC maps are what makes this game the most fun. And it sucks that nobody plays this Call of Duty anymore, because I always try to go back on and play it, and I can only find every now and then a game of Team Deathmatch or something like that. And it's usually not on a DLC map either, so it's like, it kind of sucks. And I want to play other game modes. I want to play Domination. I want to play Kill Confirmed. I want to do everything, but it's not possible because nobody plays this game anymore. So that comes in at the number 5 spot. And so coming at the number 4 spot, we have Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, or Modern Warfare Remastered, either one. I kind of count them as the same at this point. I think Modern Warfare Remastered is a lot better, just because it's more dated to today, better graphics, better connection, better, you know, no glitches, no hacks, none of that. More guns that make it more interesting and more fun. And people hate the supply drops. I think they work perfectly in this game because you can just purchase them with salvage anyways, so it's like so much easier to get the guns and the DLC stuff that they add in. And I love this game, man. I really do. I liked Call of Duty 4 a lot back then, but it would have been more like number 5 or number 6 on my list. It wouldn't have been this high. But considering they remastered it and it feels so much better, the remaster makes it become such a better Call of Duty. And I've said time and time again, I think this year for Call of Duty is one of the best years we've ever had, primarily because of the fact that we had 2 Call of Duties in one year that come out, and this feels like a new Call of Duty. It really does, and that's a good thing. I don't want it to play exactly like Call of Duty 4, because then it's just in the same game that's, you know, better graphics, and that would be not that interesting in my opinion. But since it feels better, it plays better. It got more guns, it's got more things to go for. It has the supply drops where you can, you know, purchase salvage, and you can get different weapon kits, and I love the weapon kits. There are some of the most fun things in the game, and I enjoy this game. I enjoy the hell out of it. I mean, they have weekend warfares for prop hunt and slasher, and they have all these different special events like the beach bog and the daybreak thing they had during St. Patrick's Day, and the different special limited time, you know, weapons and melee weapons and all that type of stuff. I think it's a fun fucking game, and it would not be this high if they didn't remaster it. And I said time and time again, I want them to remaster more because of how great I think this remaster is. Campaign is amazing, just like every other Modern Warfare campaign, and it doesn't have any side game modes, which kind of sucks. It only has multiplayer and campaign. It doesn't have like Spec Ops or zombies or anything like that, which definitely dwindles it down a little bit. I was hoping the remastered would add zombies in, which would be so cool, but I know people would be like, oh, it wasn't in the original Call of Duty 4, so we can't have it. But I don't give a shit. I mean, I think that'd be so cool if they made, like, on specific multiplayer maps, like they could take Backlot, Overgrown, Shipment, whatever they want to take, and they can make a zombie map based off of it. And something simple, nothing crazy, you know, no Easter eggs, nothing like that. It would take them 2 minutes to make it, honestly. Maybe they'll do that for Halloween. That'd be cool if they do a special Halloween zombies event. Like, you know, there would be wall weapons, there would be a box, there would be perks and pack-a-punch, and that's it. And it would just be doors and a couple doors, and it wouldn't be hard to get anything. They would just be placed there, and it wouldn't be, you know, it'd be fun for the simple zombies players. And like, I'm not a simple zombie player. I like complex maps more, but I think it'd be cool for them to just add some simple ass maps in this game for zombies. That'd be cool if they were to add that, but they didn't, obviously. Multiplayer, not the most balanced multiplayer in the world. Obviously, it has like the M16, you have Juggernaut, you have Stopping Power, stuff like that. Not the most balanced, but I think it just works in this game. I think it's because we kind of just know it's not a balanced Call of Duty, and it kind of just works, sort of, if that makes sense. But in Modern Warfare 2, when I said it was unbalanced, it just kind of doesn't work. I think it's how the players are and how they play the game, to be completely honest. I think it works. It really does. So, yeah, that comes in number 4. And coming in at the number 3 spot is Black Ops 3. The next 3 Call of Duties, if you've done process of elimination, the next 3 Call of Duties are all 3 the Black Ops from the Black Ops series. Obviously, that's the best series out of all the Call of Duties, and it's more of a whole base thing. It's not just the campaign, the multiplayer, or the zombies. I mean, they all have zombies, which is great. It's kind of a collective thing. They all work in their own way. Black Ops 3, I think, is the least best out of all of them. And honestly, I wanted to put it lower than this. I wanted to put Modern Warfare, maybe even Call of Duty Ghosts, higher than this game because of a couple reasons. Now, I love the zombies and multiplayer are fun. They're really, really fun. Campaign, I don't even want to talk about the campaign. I don't even want to talk about it. Shitty campaign. But multiplayer is good in all aspects. I love the streaks. I love the maps. I love the boost jumping works in this game, and I love all that. Supply drops suck in this game because it's 100% reliance on luck to get what you want, and I absolutely hate that. That's why I think IW and Modern Warfare Remastered and even Advanced Warfare, they worked a lot better for the supply drop system. And honestly, the supply drop's not a big part of the game, so it doesn't let me ruin it. Like, it doesn't ruin the whole game for me, but it definitely ruins the whole aspect of the game itself for me. I think Black Ops 3 is one of my favorite, primarily because of one thing, and it's because I'm freaking amazing at it. This is probably my best Call of Duty in terms of how good I am at a Call of Duty game. I mean, I'm pretty good at most Call of Duties. There's a few that I'm not that good at, but this Call of Duty I'm definitely the best at. I don't know why. I always do amazing in my games. I mean, this gameplay here, I'm going like 38-2 at the end, I'm pretty sure. And I don't even go try hard. I use some fun guns sometimes that aren't even like good guns. Like, and I mean, obviously here I'm using the K and it's an amazing gun, but sometimes I use shitty guns and I still do amazing, and I don't know why. I think this is just my Call of Duty game, and I think that's what makes me enjoy it. It's because obviously the Call of Duties you're better at, you're going to enjoy more. And that kind of has to do with why I enjoy this Call of Duty. But I also like other aspects of it. Zombies. Let's talk about zombies. Zombies is a big thing. I think zombies was a disappointment in some ways. I think the maps were amazing. They had some really awesome maps. But they didn't do what like Black Ops 2 did, where they had, you know, a good, diverse amounts of maps. They all had complex maps. I mean, obviously Zombies Chronicles came out. That was cool and all. But they didn't have cool game modes. They didn't have side game modes. They didn't have new simple maps other than just new complex maps. They didn't have much reliance on skill. It was more so on luck, on gobblegums. You know, gobblegums kind of overtook this game in some way, shape, or form, and that kind of sucked a little bit. Easter eggs were kind of like the only thing that you really would do on a map. There wouldn't be much other stuff to do, and that kind of ruined it for me a little bit. But it was still a fun fucking game. They had great maps. Shadows of Evil, Dries and Drog, Zetsubo, Garad, Revelations, Zombies Chronicles. All of it was fun as fuck, and made me enjoy this game very much to put it at number 3 spot. But obviously those problems need to be addressed in some way, shape, or form. And coming in at the number 2 spot, we have Call of Duty Black Ops 1. Amazing campaign. That was one thing. I loved the whole storyline and campaign. Multiplayer wasn't amazing in this game, but it was pretty freaking fun for the most part. Amazing guns at FAMAS, AK-74U, Galil, Commando, AUG, some awesome maps like Stadium, the one map here, Launch, Firing Range. A lot of the good maps came from this game. Nuketown, I mean, just so many classic maps. The kill streaks were amazing in this game, really, really fun to use, and people actually still played the objective in this game even because of that. Contracts were awesome. I love how they added them. I love the COD point system with the money. I thought that was really, really cool. It was a very balanced Call of Duty game, and I think that's one of my favorite things about Black Ops games themselves, is that they're very, very balanced in every way, shape, and form. Fun ass guns to use. Python was so much fun to use for one, you know, part of it. They actually had some character customization in this game, which was cool. I didn't really mention character customization at all in this video, but you know, I like character customization, and Call of Duty Ghosts was the first one to really bring it up. But this one, well, no, it was the first one to build upon it in an in-depth way, but this was the first one to bring it up with the face paint and stuff like that, which I thought was really, really cool. They had the emblem editor, which was the first time they added that, the first time they had theater mode, the first time they had a lot of things in this game, to be completely honest. And now let's get to the zombies. Zombies in this game was so much fun. I had a lot of fun on it. I mean, obviously they're pretty boring maps for the most part, but they also have a lot of fun maps like Ascension, Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, even Moon was fun, Kino was fun. I mean, I just named basically all of them. I mean, the only one I didn't really enjoy was 5. And the 4 remasters, they made the 4 World at War maps remastered. They were fun. Dirties was the only one out of all of them that I really enjoyed. Like I said, the other ones are kind of boring, but they're still fun to go back to and for nostalgic purposes. And yeah, that comes in number 2 spot. Awesome Call of Duty game. Not much else to say. It was just all around a well received Call of Duty, in my opinion. Coming in at number 1 spot, we have Call of Duty Black Ops 2. In my opinion, best fucking campaign. I mean, you had some amazing development, amazing characters, amazing route that they took with the whole choice system and the different endings. I enjoyed the campaign a lot. Best multiplayer, awesome score streaks. I mean, score streaks were perfect in this game. People actually played the objective because of them. You had swarms, which were so much fun to go for. Amazing balance, amazing maps, amazing remakes, amazing just, oh my god, it's the best Call of Duty. Zombies, look, here's the thing. Even though this Zombies only had 2 like revolutionary type maps, like which were Dawn of the Dead and Origins, and the other maps are kind of just meh. I mean, Buried was fun, Diaries was fun, Transit was terrible, but we get the idea. Nuketown is kind of fun here and there, Town is fun here and there, Farm is kind of fun. The reason why I think this is the best Zombies as well, because it has the best diversity in Zombies. It has complex maps, very complex maps, like Origins and Mob of the Dead. Somewhat complex, but pretty damn easy, like Buried and Die Rise. Shitty maps, you need a shitty map here and there just to make fun of, which is Transit. And then you have the really simple maps for the people who just don't want to play complex maps at all. You have Town, Nuketown, Farm, Bus Depot. You have different game modes for people who are getting sick and tired of round-based game modes. They want to play Turned, they can play Grief on Cell Block or on the Transit maps. Just so much stuff to do in this game that the point where it's the best Call of Duty. It is straight up the best Call of Duty, and if you disagree with me, that is fine. But Black Ops 2 is just that great. I have to say, I have the most fun in this Call of Duty. I can still have fun to this day on this Call of Duty game, in campaign, in multiplayer, or in zombies. Doesn't matter. I will have fun in this game, and I'm hoping World War II can withstand my enjoyment for this game and end up being my favorite Call of Duty instead. But for now, this is my favorite Call of Duty. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what your list is down in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in my next one, and peace out.